absolutely delicious. Our masa is cooked to perfection. Our beef is nice and juicy.
I love when you leave me in charge of this pan and you still have trust in me even though I failed us last time.
Well, it's important for you to stay in touch with your assistant. Your oven at 350 degrees and continue to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. How do you guys feel about people wanting me to talk less on the channel? Let me know in the comments. So that way when they come and they leave their comments, they can read what you guys are requesting.
They want me to talk less.
Hello and welcome. In today's recipe, I'm going to be showing you the best way to make your red pork tamales. The first step to making masa is whipping the lard. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to use our whisk attachment. We're going to start at a low speed and then pick it up to an 8 for about 2 to 3 minutes. We want our lard to be nice and whipped, and I'll show you the consistency we're looking for in just a moment. And after 3 minutes, we have amazingly whipped lard. You see how shiny that is? And it's really soft, look. You guys can see that. When you see it shiny, soft, and smooth, like you were able to spread it over bread, then it's ready. Switch your attachment to your paddle and add your masa. I'm gonna start slow and then I'm gonna pick up the speed to about an 8 and I'm gonna mix for a good 3 minutes. Next, you wanna add your chicken bouillon to your masa. You can add salt or whatever kind of bouillon you like. I'm using the natural Knorr chicken bouillon today. And you wanna add your sauce. I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup at a time, and you want to check the texture of your masa once you blend it. Sometimes, depending on the brand of masa that you're using, you might need a little bit more or a little bit less. I'm going to continue to mix for another 4 minutes. Going to start low and then pick up the speed. Halfway through the process, make sure to go in your bowl and scrape all around to make sure that we blend everything properly. Especially right there at the bottom. You can probably see some fresh, uncolored masa. Just right there.
Oh, I see that.
Now I'm going to continue for another 2 minutes. And boom, done, amigos. In our bowl, I have 1.5 pounds of pork. I'm using pork butt today, but if you pick any of the pieces that have fat, those are the best ones to use for tamales. Even if you have pork with bone in it, oh, even better. It just adds an extra flavor. So just go ahead and add all those pieces into your Instant Pot. Add your salt, and if you like bouillon, go ahead and use your bouillon of choice for this part. 2 bay leaves. Add 2.5 cups of water. Seal the deal. And we're gonna pressure cook for 35 minutes. Next, you wanna place your corn husk into some really hot boiling water. You wanna make sure that your leaves are completely covered, and if for some reason your water gets cold, just add a little bit more hot water. We wanna keep these soaked for 45 minutes to an hour so that when we get to using them, they're completely soft and pliable. To your pot of hot water, you wanna add your chiles. Make sure that you remove the stems and the seeds. Onion and your garlic. Continue to boil until your chiles are nice and soft, and that's usually going to take you about 8 to 10 minutes. And we're going to use this cup of broth to blend our chiles. And we need to take our pork out so that way we can shred it before we add it to our chili sauce. And you guys already know how to do that. I'm gonna do it with 2 forks. And just start shredding. If you have pieces of fat that are not something your family would like to eat, just go ahead and place it to the side. Because a lot of the kids are gonna complain, it has too much fat.
I never complained. I like the fat on my tortilla, a little bit of salt and lemon. We're good to go.
If your fat is cooked properly, you wouldn't be complaining. But
yep.
I don't know. My older son does complain and I cook it properly.
My oldest used to complain all the time, not anymore.
Add your pork broth or water. 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. And you guys always ask me, why do I use chicken for everything? Because it balances the flavors of the other proteins. Now all the ingredients that we boiled with our chiles are gonna go straight into our blender, our onion and our garlic. And now we're gonna blend until smooth. And boom, done. If you don't have a high-powered blender, you're gonna have to strain this chile. And you wanna save half a cup of our blended chile, and this is gonna be to season our masa. Place your burner on a medium heat and add your chili sauce. For the extra chili that we have in our blender, I'm gonna add half a cup of our pork broth, and I'm just gonna shake it up so that we can keep as much of the chili sauce as we can. Next, you wanna add your shredded pork. Go ahead and combine all your ingredients. Make sure that your pork is nestled comfortably in this sauce. And we're gonna continue to cook on a low heat for another 6 to 8 minutes. We just want our flavor profiles to combine and blend well together before we fill our tamales. If you notice that your pork is getting a little bit dry, you can go ahead and add a little bit more of our pork broth in here, and that'll just give it the moisture that you need. You should be perfectly fine to do that, or a little bit of water. But if you're using water, it's not seasoned, so it might change the flavor profile just a little bit. After about 6 to 8 minutes, you're gonna notice that the color of your sauce has changed. Our ingredients are well combined, and this is a perfect time for you to taste the salt in your dish. If you need to add a little bit more salt, go ahead and start by maybe 1/4 at a time, boil for another 2 minutes, and then just leave it. Don't continuously add salt because you're gonna ruin your dish, just slightly, but this is pretty right on. You wanna make sure to spread your masa on the part that's smooth on your corn husk. The other side is rough. Well, not too rough because we soaked them, but
it has ripples, right?
It has ripples. So you wanna spread the masa on the softer side. Take your corn husk, and if it has a lot of water, just get a little kitchen cloth and make sure it's not too wet. You have to determine the size of your tamal that you wanna make. For me, this is really big, so I'm just gonna slice a little bit of the leaf. Make sure that I can handle it in my hand, just like this. And if I can do that, that means that I can handle this size of a tamal. Now all the gentlemen with those big hands, you guys need to be helping for this part.
Men are intimidated to make tamales, but they have the strength. They shouldn't be intimidated.
They should be making tamales, okay? Let us do the easier parts of this. A little bit before the halfway mark, I'm gonna place our masa, and I have about 3 tablespoons here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spread it a little bit this way. I'm gonna do a dance and spread it this way. See that? And you can spread it the whole way with your spoon like I've shown you in many other videos, but today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I've used a tamal spreader, I've used a spoon, and today I'm gonna show you how to do this with a little scraper. You're gonna take your scraper and you're gonna come about this one at an angle. And you're just gonna swipe down. You don't want that masa to be super thick or else it's not gonna cook properly. But we want it thick enough. I know some of you are gonna say, why are you using this method? I know that some of you are intimidated to make tamales precisely because of this part. You don't know how much to add, when is it too much, where did we need it to add more? And this, I feel, helps you achieve all of that. Helps you spread it to where perhaps you need just a little drop more and smooth it out. Do you see that?
I do.
And those of you that know me know this is not my favorite part.
It's my favorite part.
I didn't want to do this part, but it's easy for me to do. It's just not something that I enjoy in the kitchen, I'll be honest. But Cloud does.
We do.
So anything that you have left over, you can just come back, scrape it, and place it right here. Boom, almost done. Let's fill our tamal. And you have to spread it to where it becomes part of the husk.
That's right, and that's for that even cooking too, right?
Yes, you're gonna get even cooking this way, and you don't wanna end up with the extra bumps that don't cook fully, okay? So let's go ahead and start filling our tamales. Get so excited about this part. So cup your little hand so that way when the filling comes through, it doesn't drip everywhere. Take about 2.5 tablespoons of your pork with the sauce. And I know you're gonna think like, that's not enough. Yes, when these cook, it's enough, I promise you. I'm gonna add a potato because these are classic for us. This is what our family likes. Don't feel obligated to add any of this to your tamales. If you just like them with plain pork, leave them that way. But for us, we like them with some olives. And sometimes I use the pitted ones, and sometimes I use the ones that have the little stuff inside. And not to worry, you just have to warn your family which ones you used. They're ready for the surprise in the tamal. And you can add some raisins. When I was younger, I didn't like them in my tamales, and now I'm loving it. That's exactly what I want. Go ahead and cover all those ingredients nice and tight. Press back just like that. Flip it, don't reverse it. They're ready. While I'm placing our tamales in our basket, I'm going to give you guys a little story. Growing up, we used to place our tamales in a pot and you used to put a plate in the middle. But after I had my older son, I couldn't do that because it was way too loud for him.
Oh, because of the rattling?
The rattling or certain sounds, or even our blender. So when you guys see me all cheery about the blender, it's, yeah, I'm being extra as usual, but I'm actually really excited that I get to use my blender at full speed.
And it's not like your baby was being, what's the word? Like he was purposely saying I don't like noises. It's a sensory
Yeah, it is.
situation for him.
And if you guys get to choose your hojas from, there's a brand, El Venado, skip those guys. I wasn't too happy with them. Place your tingy inside your pressure cooker and add your water.
And this pressure cooker, friends, is called the Instant Pot Duo Nova. It's 10 quarts. It's the latest and greatest model, 2020. As always, we'll link it in the description area.
And bring your lovely basket of goodies and place it inside. Just adjust it a little. And I'm really liking this one because I don't have to do absolutely anything. But when I do release, I just get to press this button instead of the little latch here. That's been giving me a bit of a nightmare.
It's that guy back there.
It's that guy back there, the one we used for the puerco. Pressure cook, and we're gonna pressure cook for 38 minutes, okay? For those of you interested in an Instant Pot, I would say go with the 10 quart that has this button. It's gonna make you really, really happy. If for some reason you haven't allowed your tamales to rest for about 10 to 15 minutes just till they cool, you're not gonna allow them to form and have the ridges that we know for tamales. It'll be nice and mushy and soft, still good, but you won't get them to form that way. So let them rest. I'm gonna open it up a bit so you can see all the goodies are well cooked in here. Everything's juicy and we're ready for a taste. Say ah. I was gonna do shark to you. Da-na, da-na-na, da-na-na.
That's delightful. That's 10 plus out of
Quería
10.
que me dijeras que está perro.
Está perronation.
Yes.
So good. Now it's your turn, honey. Your eye came out.
This is so good.
And you don't have to wait for the holidays. You can have tamales whenever you want. Now, we have other videos showing you how to make tamales, and there's a lot of wonderful tips in those, whether it's handmade or in a stand mixer, but you don't want to miss out on those videos and the tips.
All the measurements and suggestions and tips will be in the description area. And I hope you guys like some quick and easy tamales for when you're craving them, that you don't have to be there for hours. You really don't.
And like
You just
the
have to be
saying
patient.
goes, que se hagan los
Que
tamales.
se hagan los tamales. Don't forget to tag us on Instagram. I have been a little bit busier, but I love to see when you guys do hashtag views on the road. I get to see all the wonderful things that you guys have created. So thank you. But in all honesty, Club, this is how I'm gonna say to all of you, don't try and eat a dozen of these. Don't try and eat 20 in one day. Be moderate about it. You can really hurt your stomach if you eat too many at a time because they're so good you don't want to stop, but I definitely suggest you take breaks throughout the day. That's usually what I do during the holidays. I'll eat 3 and then I'll wait and I'll walk around, do my things, and then come back for some more tamales. But I did do a challenge where I had a lot, so that's why I'm letting you guys know to please be careful with the tamales. And I'm just gonna eat it challenge style. Bye. As always, Cloud and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you, and we want to thank each and every one of you that's been making our recipes, all the lovely comments that we've been receiving this past week. We're super excited to keep cooking with you guys, and on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Adios! Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host, Steph, and today I'm going to show you how to make red beef tamales. We're projected to make 100 tamales, so if you plan on gifting tamales or you have a big family, this recipe is for you. But make sure to stay close by because you don't want to skip too much because you're going to miss out on all the tips that I have to share with you today. Absolutely delicious. Our masa is cooked to perfection. Our beef is nice and juicy. For this delicious recipe, you're going to need large pots, also known as tamaleras, 20 pounds of fresh corn masa, 20 pounds of chuck roll, 60 guajillo chiles, 18 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 4 garlic bulbs, 4 large onions, 3 pounds of lard, 200 corn husks, 20 cups of water. We're going to start by cutting our 20 pounds of chuck into smaller pieces, and it really doesn't matter how you cut it, just get them smaller so that they can fit into your big pot because we're going to cook this so tender that it's all just going to fall apart. I added 1 gallon of water to my tamalera and it's just about to come to a boil. I'm going to go ahead and start placing our beef pieces right on in. Be very careful with this part. I don't want it to splash on you. It's hot, so place it as close as you can and then drop it. The point here is to cover your beef with the water. A good gallon will do the trick, and even if you see a few pieces sticking out, that should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and place the lid over my pot and let it continue to boil so that we can skim all the impurities. I'm soaking the corn husks in warm water for a minimum of 45 minutes. But to be honest, I'm going to keep them here until they're ready to use. Once you soak your corn husk, you're going to soak your chiles. And I usually boil the chiles along with the beef, but since we're working with such large quantity, I'm just going to soak them in a bowl with hot water until they get nice and soft. I've already taken the stems and as many of the seeds as I possibly can, and I'll keep them in here until I'm ready to use them. It's been about 30 minutes and all the impurities are floating on the top. We're going to go ahead and skim them, and I do want to let you guys know that the total amount of water used is 20 cups. After you remove your impurities, you're going to add your chicken bouillon, add your garlic, your onion, lower the temperature to a medium heat and continue to cook for 3.5 to 4 hours. I've been cooking our beef for 4 hours and it's nice and tender. Save 7 cups of beef broth to blend with your chiles. I get each garlic and I start pressing as much of the garlic as I can out of its shell. Super easy. And even if you end up with a little bit of the garlic peel, that's okay. The blender will blend it real smoothly. And you can do this with all your garlic bulbs. I'm going to be blending our chile in batches. So you want to place half portion of your chiles in your blender. I'm using a high-speed blender. If you're using a lower speed blender, you are going to have to strain after this process. So go ahead and add your chiles. And now we're going to blend until smooth, and you want to do this with both batches of your chile. And to blend our chiles, I used a total of 7 cups of beef broth. You're going to take 3 pounds of your lard and you're going to place it into a big bowl or pot. Make it comfortable for your home. And if you can't find this big 4-pound bucket of lard, you can buy 3 of these and that should be enough to get all of this process done. And now I'm going to start squeezing my lard I'm gonna start blending this like I'm washing my clothes and I am a washing machine. We are gonna get this nice, silky, and smooth, and this mixing usually takes me 10 to 15 minutes. I've been doing this for a lot of years, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna think about my future generations and hope they watch this video and know how hard I work and how much I love them. I've been here for a good 15 minutes, and right when your lard looks fluffy and whipped, soft and creamy, that means you're ready. You hear that sound? We're ready to add our masa. And I know it seems like a tedious thing to do, but you want to make sure that you whip your lard beautifully creamy, shiny, silky smooth, because if you don't do it for that particular step, when it's time for you to add your masa, you're not going to get it to float until 30 minutes later. So make sure you cream up your lard really, really good, so it's an easier process for you when you're combining all your ingredients into your masa, and it's going to float beautifully within 15 minutes. I'm going to slowly start incorporating our masa and combining it into our lard. If you're using our recipe, when you go to your fresh masa factory, you're going to ask them for masa sin preparar, that is unprepared masa. But if you don't want to do all this work, you can ask for prepared masa, and then you can skip this step. We're going to be here for another 15-20 minutes. For those of you that need a small batch of this recipe, whether it be on your stand mixer or by hand, I'm going to link those recipes in the description area. And we're also going to pin it for you.
Would be nice.
Toda.
Estamos aquí. Esto es para una tortilla.
Una tortillita. Qué rico.
What are you doing way up there?
I'm getting into this masa. I needed a step stool to really get into this big old pot and then, you know, get down.
This is the proper way to get down.
I just combined all our masa with the lard, and I'm going to show you that it's nowhere near floating. You're going to feel that it's fluffy. Steph, I can do this. We have to wait until this masa floats. And in order to have some delicious tamales, you have to season your masa. I showed you guys how to do this a few years back, and now we're going to show you again. So I'm going to start off with 2 cups of our blended chili sauce, and you're going to add it right on in. And now we're going to start combining until we get our masa to float. That's going to take me another 10-15 minutes. The total amount of chili sauce that I'm using is 4 cups. I like mine to have a nice, bright, beautiful color. I don't mind doing this. I love doing this. And tamales, I love you. So delicious, and I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for some tamales. I've been here a good 10-15 minutes mixing our masa, and as you can see, those are floating. Let me show you. I'm gonna show you a few pieces so that you can see that no matter where I grab from, our masa's floating. Those right there are gonna give you the best fluffy tamales you've ever had. Once you get your masa to float over water, you're going to taste your masa, or you can place a little bit on a pan, sear it a little bit, taste it. If you feel like you need a little bit more flavor, you can add more salt if you're using salt, or you can add a little bit more chicken bouillon. And by a little bit, it's going to be up to you on how salty or how flavorful you want your masa for your tamales. So juicy, I don't even need a fork. I'm just going to break it down with my tongs. And I'm going to do this with the remaining beef. Currently have my pot on a medium heat, and I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to allow that to heat up. And with the remaining sauce that we use for the masa, I'm going to go ahead and place it right on in. Give that a loving mix and continue to cook for another 4 to 5 minutes. I'm going to start off by adding 5 cups of beef broth and combine our ingredients. Next, we're going to add our beef. Once you add all your beef, you want to give that a good mix. So beautiful and delicious. This is one of my favorite beef combinations. When it's slow cooked for a long time, nice tender fall apart with this sauce, that makes my dreams come true. And now I want to allow my beef to cool for 20 to 30 minutes because I don't want to combine our masa with some hot beef. When we're rolling our tamales, you can kind of mess up the dough that way. So just allow this to cool off just for a little bit. You're going to fill your pot to the first line with water. Once you fill it with water, you're going to add your divider. And you're going to set this to the side while we finish assembling our tamales. Take your desired amount of masa and spread it evenly on your corn husk. Take your beef and place it right in the center. And if you want them super beefy, go ahead and add some more. Now you're going to tightly fold. Then you're going to fold again. Then you're going to fold again. And I'm going to continue with the remaining tamales. And now we're going to start lining our tamales all throughout the pot just like this. And let me tell you, this year's corn husks are the worst that I've ever seen. They are premium. The label said premium, but as you can see, they are wonky everywhere.
But we're thankful.
I'm grateful, but you know, if you're running across the same thing that I did, not to worry. These tamales are still going to be delicious.
They might have one or two ridges, but that's okay.
I don't mind the ridges.
I like them too.
When you fry them the next day, they're perfect for that. And this is the one my 12-year-old made. How beautiful is this tamal?
Wonderful. He did great.
He did such a good job. This bottom layer has 75, and if you see most of them are facing this way, now I'm going to face the next layer this way. Remember we said we were aiming for 100 tamales? Well, we have 200 tamales here today. And once you layer your tamalera, you're going to go ahead and place a cloth right over, and this is going to absorb any of the excess moisture. Put a lid on it. Once you can hear your pot has reached a boil, you're going to set your temperature on a medium-low, and you're going to continue to cook your tamales for 2.5 hours. Remember, if your pot's not producing steam, your tamales will not cook. Once you've cooked your tamales to perfection, you want to let them set for a minimum of 45 minutes before you start serving it for your family or begin to sell. I allowed my tamales to rest for 1 whole hour. We have 200 tamales cooked to perfection, and now it's time for you to try them. I already removed the top layer of our tamales. You're looking at our second layer of tamales. And be careful when you're removing these because they're very, very hot. And this is our last layer of our tamales, the one that we first placed. And how many are you gonna have, amigos? How many tamales? ¿Quién quiere tamales? Tell me, I wanna give each and every one of you a tamal. Even though it's virtually, I hope that one day I'm able to warm up your little tummies. And some of you have already seen how I indulge with tamales. I just grab them with my hands. Perfectly cooked. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say Absolutely delicious. Our masa is cooked to perfection. Our beef is nice and juicy. This tamal is tender. And I hope you guys enjoy my take on a family style feast. Now it's time to clean up. Oh my goodness. Wow. Rico. Okay. So soft. Every single one of these tamales, I'm sorry for talking with my mouth open, but every single one of these tamales is cooked to perfection. As always, Cloud and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you. It's our pleasure to share our family recipes with you. Thank you for being here with us and cooking for the past few years. We hope you're having a safe and beautiful holiday season. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Adios. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to make you tamales for breakfast. For today's recipe, you're gonna need 2 packs of chorizo, and if you don't wanna use chorizo, you can use soy rizo, and I'll link the recipes in the description area. 6 cups of tamal maseca, 2 small cubed potatoes, and if you need this recipe to stretch, add more potatoes. 7 guajillo chilies, make sure to remove the stems and the seeds, and what I've done is I've soaked them in hot water for about 10-15 minutes. You just wanna wait until they're nice and soft. 7 eggs, 4 cups of hot water, and 4 tablespoons of chicken bouillon. And if you happen to have fresh chicken broth, you're gonna need 4 cups.
Are you still liking the natural chicken bouillon?
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it. But I'm not a stranger to the other one. 3/4 cup of lard, 1 bag of corn husks. Soak your corn husk in hot water for a minimum of 45 minutes or until they're soft and pliable. Take your soft chiles and place them into your blender. Today I'm using a Foodie Ninja and I absolutely love it.
And those chiles do not have seeds or stems.
There might be a seed here and there, but it's not going to cause any complications. Now, is this chile spicy? It's going to depend on the brand that you're using. I'm going to add enough of our chicken broth to blend. And now you're going to blend until smooth. And boom, done. Add your 6 cups of maseca. I'm going to break up the lard and incorporate it into our maseca. Once you've combined your ingredients, go ahead and make a little well and add your blended chili.
I'm in suspense right now with that small little bowl. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it, we're going to make it happen.
Can you tell us about the technique that you have going on?
All I'm doing is giving it a little squeeze, a little turn, squeeze, and we just want to hydrate all of our masa.
We appreciate you being patient with us.
I appreciate you guys being patient with my bowl. And boom, done. Place your burner on a medium heat and drizzle a little bit of oil, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to break down our chorizo and we're going to cook it for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, you're going to add your potatoes. Combine your ingredients and continue to cook on a medium heat for another 5 minutes. Give or take about 5 minutes, you should have cooked your potatoes to where you can see that they're translucent. If your potatoes aren't translucent, cook them a little bit longer. So go ahead and turn your burner off. And you're gonna add about 1/2 cup of water.
Ooh, that looks so pretty and smells so good.
Oh, somebody's hungry.
That's it.
So what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna set aside the amount that I'm gonna use for all my family members that don't want egg in their tamales. They just want the potato and the chorizo.
I don't know what we did to deserve you, girl, but I'm happy I did it. Thank you.
I love you guys too. All right, now we're gonna turn our burner back on and it's time to get it cracking.
Oh, I get so excited to hear eggs cracking. Oh.
Well, how do you say it in Spanish? Soy huevera?
Soy huevera.
Soy huevera. I love to eat eggs, especially as a late night snack. It's not always hot Cheetos, guys.
You do make delicious scrambled eggs at night in your beautiful toast.
You know what I like to do? I like to do room service at night for myself when all my kids are asleep and it's just mommy time.
I
That's
got
my
that
thing.
from you.
Yeah.
I prep now my little board before I head upstairs.
I'm proud of you.
In a beautiful plate, that makes all the difference, right?
Yep. Go ahead and mix it and mix it and mix it and mix it. Make sure that your temperature is on a low heat. We don't want stinky burnt eggs. We want some delicious breakfast combo.
I love when you leave me in charge of this pan and you still have trust in me even though I failed us last time.
Well, it's important for you to stay in touch with your access.
Well, I'm staying very much in touch right now. I need to work out my arms, dude.
You gotta roll.
Oh, you know when kids do do your kids do that? No, your kids are sweet. Mine were always like, oh.
No, the babies are angels.
Are they? I didn't realize how tall you were. I'm on my tippy toes just to reach this part.
Yeah, I'm very tall.
You're a big, fine woman.
Don't do it, don't do it.
I won't do it. But just know that you're a big, fine woman.
Don't start.
We need you to do you know what?
No, dime finish it in the comments, but vas a decir a la
No. We have kids. We don't want them to do that.
Don't listen to your tía kids. Misbehave.
Apparently, I'm still recording.
Oopsie.
And boom, done, amigos. Our chorizo and our potatoes are cooked. Now, if you want your filling for your egg and chorizo to be a little bit redder, you can blend 2 soft guajillo chilies and pour it right on in, and it's going to be the perfect color for you. Take your masa. I need like 2 little scoops. And maseca is so easy to work with that you can just spread it with your hands. Make sure that whoever's helping you has clean hands. Use Club Junior. I'm talking to you.
And they always keep their little hands clean, don't they, when they help in the kitchen?
They sure do. Keep it up, kids.
They keep it clean by tasting everything.
Mm-hmm. Add your filling. And if your family prefers spice, you can use some pickled jalapenos. Now it's time to give it a fold. Little squeeze there will seal it for you. And boom, done. We're gonna continue with the remaining tamales. What I have going on here in our baking dish is I have 1 cup of water at the bottom, and I use our bad corn husk. I just cut them down the middle, and I'm just placing them here at the bottom, okay? So if you see that some of them get a little bit dry while you're setting up, that's okay. Just add a little bit more water to keep them nice and damp. And the other way I'm gonna steam them is on the stovetop. And I did the same here in our little pot. So all I have to do now is add about, I'm gonna go with 1 cup of water, okay? I'm gonna use a heat-proof bowl, and I'm gonna start aligning our tamalitos.
And that's just the diminutive of tamal. Tamalitos.
Yep. You guys know I like to do baby talk to you guys and everybody I meet. All love, all love.
We have a lot of babies, almost 1 million of them.
Oh my goodness. Don't make me get shy, you guys. Don't make me get shy. Think you guys want me to work for the mole recipe, don't you?
We're ready for it.
Okay. I'm gonna use a piece of foil and place it here, just so that we can let our tamales lean on them. Just like that. And you wanna place the bigger ones towards the back, okay? Make sure that you're sealing your foil nice and tight on your baking dish. You can use a kitchen cloth or a foil to place over your tamales. That way none of the steam lands inside of your tamales. Place your oven at 350 degrees and continue to bake for 35 to 40 minutes. Bring your pot to a boil. Once you bring it to a boil, lower your heat to a low temperature and continue to steam for 20 to 25 minutes. And boom, done. Who's ready for a taste? Woo. Just beautiful, right? This is a tamal that was steamed on the stovetop. These are the ones that were steamed in the oven. Let me show you what I like to do with our tamales for breakfast time. And next, you're gonna place your tamales into your oil.
This is what Auntie Tamales get a makeover.
They get a makeover.
Guess how you want them.
Yep. That's such a holiday thing to do, right? So you're gonna fry for about 2 minutes on each side, just until you see it's nice and crispy. I do find that if you're cooking for your husbands, they do like it a lot crispier, so you might have to leave it here a little bit longer. And boom, done. Our tamales are ready. Now I just need to fry an egg. This is the one that was steamed in the oven. Just want to break it up in the middle for you guys. Ooh, yummy, yummy. You love breakfast, you're gonna love these tamales. And these are the ones with just the chorizo and potato. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah.
Buen provecho.
I went for it.
Don't wait for me. You enjoy it. You worked hard.
For those of you packing lunch for your family and loved one, this is a perfect tamal for that, because even tamales, when they get cold, they taste really good. But if you're able to steam some and keep it warm for your loved one, they're gonna show up with some gifts for you. Let me tell you.
I guess I'm rolling in with flowers tomorrow.
I'm gonna need flowers for this cloud. It's so good. My kids and I are breakfast lovers for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a snack, and this is a recipe that's gonna make your day a lot easier. You can just warm it up, serve it, relax, watch your favorite programs, binge watch us.
Yeah, thank you for spending time with us. It does mean a lot to us. Thank you. And hello to our new subscribers. Welcome to the Views Club.
Welcome. This is amazing. I really do think adding the pickled jalapenos in here adds such a huge difference, especially if you love spice. Good rico. Time to look away. As always, Claude and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you, and we hope you have a beautiful weekend. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Adios! Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how my family makes corn tamales. And this type of corn is a little bit different. It's different than the one you have at your grocery stores. That's why it tastes different than the one you have at restaurants. So if you're interested in getting a step-by-step recipe on how to make corn tamales, keep watching, porque se van a hacer los tamales. Claro, what do we say in our family?
Que se
hagan los tamales. Because when you hear that, you know you need to have your comfy clothes. You need to become relaxed, because we're about to make a lot of tamales. But in your case, I'm going to show you a quick and easy recipe that you're going to enjoy and perfect. So let's get to work. Okay, so what you're gonna do, if you see your corn looking like this, don't get scared. I bought these about 2 days ago, so that's why it looks a little bit dry. If you want them to look fresh, just work on them the first day, but you're gonna find that corn is really loving. So if you're turned off by these little ends right here, just cut them up. It's natural corn. This is the corn that most of the restaurants use to make their tamales. So if you see this happening and you're grossed out right now, then don't eat them at the store. Don't eat them at your restaurants, okay? Corn is very loving, very forgiving, and delicious. Yeah?
Yours was already prepped when you got them, right? The back?
These, yes, they're already prepped, because if you get them to where they have the whole corn stem, all you gotta do is cut them right here, so that way you can use your corn husk to make your tamales, okay? And for the corn, you want to use the fresh one that you're peeling off right here. So all you do is just roll it up.
What do you mean? For the leaves?
Okay. Yeah. You're going to see that all the dirty ones are on the outside, right? Like these. And you should still be okay. Wipe it up or rinse it, you'll be okay. And these, well, you really don't need to. Nice and clean. They're protected. Granted, I just made a cochinero right here.
I mean, but there's no real clean way of doing tamales.
You know what? There is, but I'm not known to do that.
Oh, there is?
No, girl, I like having chaos, but this year's gonna be my first year that I don't use plastic to clean up.
I don't know, girl. Anyone that I've ever been with that's made tamales or been around, there's always a nightmare.
Yeah, it
But it's
really
fun.
is. It's fun. It's like, you know those satisfying videos?
Yeah.
Making tamales is like that. And then that's why you need to have a drink after or
During?
during.
Yeah. And bring a lot of helping hands.
Yes. So we bought a few dozens. The boys already helped us with some, and I just kept these so I can show you. So what you're gonna do is we're just gonna peel off all the hair. And my mother saves this right here, the hair from the corn. She saves it for a tea she makes. All right. If the hair on here makes you really uncomfortable and gives you the heebie-jeebies, get a little brush. You can brush it off, but One thing you'll know about me is I love corn. And there you have it. And you're gonna do this to the amount of corn that you're gonna be using. Okay? So now that we have this set, let me go ahead and show you how to chop it up. And this is how I have them rolled up, ready to use. I'm gonna set this to the side. You wanna do this step that I'm gonna show you right now in a nice round bowl that gives you enough space to do it, because if not, you're gonna end up with a desmadre like I just did here, okay? A huge mess.
I see some corn back there too in the background.
Yes, girl, we bought a few dozen, so we've been working at it.
It is time.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you have a good knife. You want to make sure that you're really sturdy, and that when you're going to cut this, you're pressing down right here. Not crazy, because you're just going to slip off. Just enough to add pressure. You know, just enough. So what I do is about, not even halfway, a little bit less than halfway, I start cutting on this side. And you want to get really close until you see that right there. You want to use all your corn. You don't want any left behind because you're being weak with your arms, okay? This is a time to show off your skill. And that's why all the ones that pop off everywhere, they end up in your bowl, and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, and I find this way is the easiest way to get through it, so that way we come up here and then just go straight down.
Ooh, I just got showered with some corn juice.
Pour some corn juice on you.
Make a perfume, el elote.
Oh, I would eat it. I would eat that perfume. Every little counts when you're here. So if you notice, I have a little bit of a bulging part right here that it didn't come off. So come back in and get your money's worth. I sound like my mother. I used to leave all of that. She's like, "You're not done yet. Look at all the meat you left on the corn." And she'd come back and get all the ones that I used and do that to them. Okay. So granted, if you already started on a really good big bowl, then you don't need to do this step right here. Transfer it to your bowl. But if you're gonna be doing it like me, transfer it on over.
You mean cut it while it's in the bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But if I were to do it in the bowl, you guys wouldn't be able to see. So I do have to do some things differently so that I can show you. You want to make sure that when you're done taking the corn, peeling off the corn, that you don't throw these away. You want to keep them on the side, and I'll show you guys why right now. It's really important if you choose to use my steps. All right, so now that we've done that, let's get started on our next step. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and blend our corn. If you have a food processor, you can use that. If you have a metate, the original way of making these, go for it. But for me, this little blender does a pretty good job. Because you guys already know, I don't want to go digging in my garage.
But when you do, it's fun.
And you know what? It's starting to get cool like this here. And once it's cool enough, I go and start clearing my garage for the holidays. And it's quite interesting. What do we got? So I'm gonna start with about 4 cups and I'm gonna start blending, okay? And I'm just gonna continue the process. I'll show you the consistency that I'm looking for. So hang tight and enjoy the ride. Gonna make sure to open it up, push it down so you can get a good blend. And this corn is nice and milky. Okay, so now it's time to pour it out.
So how much did you blend at a time? Was it a cup?
No. It was about 4 cups, but seeing how it's blending, because every corn can be different, right? Like American corn is very different than this corn.
Yeah.
And this corn, I think I'm gonna end up going with 2 to 3 cups in here to blend. And you want to blend it until you get somewhat of a masa, like a dough.
Oh,
and
let me get closer so
yeah,
you can see.
It's very, very creamy, just like this, light and soft. Okay. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and then I'll show you guys right here in the blender kind of how you can gauge it. But if you have a blender that's not as strong, it's gonna take you a little bit longer. So start off with like 1 or 2 cups. But if you have a more powerful blender, you can go with 2 to 3. And it took me about 3 minutes. Okay. Here we go again. Okay, if you guys are using the same blender that I am, which is the Ninja 1000 watt professional blender, what you're gonna do is gonna take you about 3 minutes. So what I mean by that is that you're gonna blend it on the number 1 for about a minute, and when it's already done, you're gonna come in and you're gonna push it down. Okay? So once you do that, you're gonna start it over, you're gonna press 1, and then you're gonna go to 2 and blend that for about a minute. You're gonna come back in, push it down. And then for that final minute, or until you get the consistency that we're looking for, which is a very ground corn, you're gonna hit it at number 3 for another minute. So it's gonna take anywhere between 3 to 3.5 minutes if you're using this blender. Now, if you're using an oyster, take it easy, be patient with yourself. That hard work is gonna pay off. Now let me finish. Number 2. Okay, so before I do this next step, I want to let you guys know, if you're using the Mexican corn to make these tamales, you want to be very careful when you add the next ingredients, because if you mix it too much, there is a high possibility that it can turn bitter. Now, if you're using the sweet American style corn, you guys don't have to worry about it. Another thing that I wanted to clarify, when you're blending your corn, whether it's in a food processor or a blender, if you notice that it's a little bit drier because it's supposed to be more milky, you want to add a little bit of milk to help you blend it. And also, the blend that I'm about to add right now, you want to do half butter and half shortening. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see here, I have a lot of the corn milk. It's nice and juicy how we want it. And for those reasons, I'm not going to be blending mine with any butter. But keep an eye out, make sure you get that milkiness. If not, you can help yourself with some butter. So give that a good mix on its own before you add any of the ingredients, okay? Because you don't want to get your masa all temperamental. With the Mexican corn, it can happen. So be kind to yourself in that process. Okay, so now when we've given it a mix and we're going to be adding the ingredients, this is a part where you want to take it easy on your mixing. We're just going to add the ingredients and incorporate them, and as soon as they're incorporated, we're going to let it set, okay? So go ahead and add your salt. And now we're going to add our shortening. And if you don't want to use shortening, go ahead and do it with butter. But your measurement might change because some butters are pretty watery lately.
Use real butter, not margarine.
Yeah. Make it comfortable for your home, but just know that if you're not using the recipe that I'm using, how I gave it to you, you might run into something different. So then I can't help you out. You see how quick it absorbed everything together?
It was a flash.
Yeah. Don't overmix it, don't overdo it. And now what you want to do is you want to take a little bit of the masa and you want to taste it. You want to taste it because you want to know what your salt content is. Okay? Taste for you guys.
That's delicious.
And when you make tamales, you want to go with the person that likes their things perfect. Why? Because they're going to give you the right amount of salt to use for your masa. But the one that I'm going to give you guys, it's pretty good. You think we need salt or you're good? Maybe a sprinkle? I think a little sprinkle.
Yep. You're using a different kind of salt, aren't you? Yep.
Yeah, today I'm using a ground sea salt.
Okay.
So it looks so fluffy and beautiful. So that's just a little pinch.
To grow an inch.
Yep. And that pinch that I just added looks to me like half a 1/4 teaspoon. We'll be quick with it, okay?
Don't make it too salty either because...
Yeah, we have other ingredients
Yeah.
and components that can make it salty. Your cheeses, depending on which one you're using, you want to gauge it with that as well. Okay? So now let's get ready for our next step. Yeah, I'm over here. Before we get started in filling our corn tamales, if you have a steamer, go ahead and use that. I'm going to go with the way that we always make it because I feel comfortable this way. I have a steamer, but I like this way, okay? So you're going to add about 1.5 cups of water to your steep pot. Once you do that, you're going to add your remainder corn little stems, okay?
Get that core out of my face.
No, girl, I'm going to put it all in your face. Just like that.
You know, just
There you go.
infuse it with some more corn.
So, you're going to grab some foil. You're going to make a little ball. All right. A little bed of foil. Watch your ear, guys. Your ears are going to be with this foil. I hope it's coming out okay.
It's already starting to smell like the holidays in here.
You know what? I got up this morning to let my dog go outside and do her thing, and I realized I need to get my robes, like my winter robes, and
Yes.
they need to come out already. So
I'm
excited.
I need to buy new ones.
You know what? We do every year, so. And you usually get me a new robe every year.
Yeah.
Thanks, sis. Yeah, my babies are robe lovers too. So this is what it should look like, okay? A nice little bed of foil. So, what you want to do next is you can either use a New Mexico green chili, the ones in a can, if you can't get a hold of a fresh Anaheim chili pepper. And what you want to do is you want to roast it. Want to roast it, peel it, because that's how you're going to get that delicious flavor in your tamales, okay? So you can make it with queso fresco. I am Americanized, guys. I like mine with cheddar. Cloud, what do you like yours with?
Queso fresco.
Queso fresco. So it's going to be up to you what kind of combo you want to give your family so that they remember your tamales. Okay? Now that we have all that, now it's time to roll. Okay? So we got our corn husk. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm using one of my spoons, and it's the larger one, not the little one. I'm going to use the big one, and I'm just going to start scooping about that much. And I'm going to go for about 3 spoonfuls, okay? Now we're going to add, oh, that one's a little long. You're going to add your chile, press it in. And your queso fresco, just slice it thin, okay? Going to fold over this way. Fold it over this way. And right here at the end, oh, let me fix it up. There you go. Just like this. And then you're set. So now we're gonna start lining it up with the open side up. Okay, so let's continue to do this for a few more. And one of the great things about these tamales, the corn tamales, is they're a lot easier than the other masa tamales. I know I used to have a video up, guys. I will have that other video for you guys very soon, because I received a lot of compliments from you guys and I appreciate that. Okay. That's just the roasted part. Don't get scared. Just more flavor. The ones that have that little hard tip are a little bit stiff, but it's okay. Make it work. All right. If you've ever made tamales with your family, you know that it's not perfect. You know that you make do.
Que se hagan los tamales.
Yep. And you have to gauge it. Like if you have one of your corn husks that are a bit larger, you're gonna add more of a portion. If you have the smaller ones, you kind of have to make it to where you have that little pile. Okay. If you've never made tamales, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. I would say start off making this recipe first, and then once you make this recipe and you know you want to try something else, then that way you can make it comfortable for your home. When you're using the Mexican corn, you really don't need to add too much because the flavor is in the corn. Now the sweet American corn is slightly different. Hope you guys can see. Fold, 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 and set. And then when you have all your family and the kids helping you and all of that, it makes the hard work a lot easier. And if you like fried tamales, let me know in the comments. Woo! So delicious. My husband actually prefers them that way.
The fried?
Yeah, I almost said Jeffrey, girl.
Jeffrey? Ina, she's coming for your man, girl.
No, Ina, I love you, girl. Don't. You like how I talk about Ina, and I've been like this, guys. I talk about Ina like that's my girlfriend, okay? Like we've been friends forever. I think one year my sister got me all of Ina's cookbooks because I was so obsessed with Ina. And now I'm obsessed with you guys. She's probably like, girl, is that why you haven't been on my videos? That woman has no clue.
We're gonna let you think that, okay? We're gonna let you and Jeffrey.
There, I don't want to traumatize anybody making memories with tamales with my conversation. See, and the bigger ones are a lot easier for you to show off. The little ones are, you got to put in some work.
They're for the little hands.
The little manitas. And my mom, like growing up, she's the one that taught me how to make do, and we have to use every single one of them. Like if it was, let me just show you, okay? So if you have one that, I'm so horrible.
Go ahead, girl.
If you have one that was about this size, she'd be like, no la tires, don't throw it away. You just grab another one and you put it right here like this. And I'm like, oh.
Or use it to tie the tamales.
Yeah, or you use it to tie the tamales, but for the most part, I might be exaggerating a bit. She'd be like, put it right here in the top. And I'll show you guys when we get to the meat tamales. How do you guys feel about people wanting me to talk less on the channel? Let me know in the comments. So that way when they come and they leave their comments, they can read what you guys are requesting.
They want me to talk less.
They want you to get off the camera and not help me. And they want me to...
They don't mind the camera. They mind me talking. So for that reason, I should probably think about putting together a podcast. Well, I do like to talk a lot.
I would love to have a podcast from you. But I need you, sister. I ain't playing,
You're
girl.
like, listen, you can't have a full-time job, a part-time job, and then a side job. Like, you need to calm your nerves.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how hard I work to have you on here. And I just wish you guys would respect that. And you know what? This channel might not be for everybody. I engage with you guys the way you should when you're making food.
We have a lot of fun people. We're just poking fun. It's fun, you guys. It's all in good fun.
Hey, I keep you guys up to date on the last video. And since I post pretty much every day, you guys already know how it goes.
I'm not going anywhere. I love all of you.
You know what? My sister and I are so happy with you guys. We're so happy with the channel. We've been making a lot of friends.
Yes.
You're keeping me social. You guys keep me cool.
Well, it's so strange for you to say my legal name, girl. I feel like I'm in trouble or I'm being arrested.
That's the last thing we need.
I know, right? At least you didn't go with the full name, like the middle name, the last names.
You know I do that to my boys.
You have to.
I do it for them because, you know, my babies are mixed, so they need to understand. And once they hear their middle name, they're like, oh my gosh.
We're busted. Or they hear their Spanish last name, they're like, what?
But right now what I'm doing, it seems to be working this week, you guys. Let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe I tried so hard to be such a great mom today. And you guys don't seem like you had a wonderful day or enjoyed my meals that I made. And, you know, I don't know what to do. What do you think I should do? And then they're like, oh, no, mom. No, mama. Me hacen. Like, they start speaking like their wannabe Spanish because they're very Spanglish. They understand a lot of Spanish words, especially Bayo, but they can't, like, fluently speak it, right? But they're still learning. They're in that time for that. No, mama. And any chance Punky gets to roll his R's, he really tries to. So that's what I have going on. I'm playing the victim for them.
No wonder.
Let me know if your guys' mom played the victim ever.
Well, no wonder he was just like, oh, these are, está muy bueno, mamá, when you made pozole.
Yeah, I made him some chicken pozole.
He was into it.
And he's like, oh, I love pozole, mama.
What a
My
sweet boy.
babies. All right. Let's keep it going. Fold and fold, and that's how you enjoy making your tamales. It's a tedious process in a way, but when you have good company, it all works out. And whenever you guys have to make tamales and your family's not helping you, make sure you play the video so that we can hang out and make the tamales together.
That's right.
The
good
virtual
company
hangout.
and some music.
Yeah. Don't forget, guys, our Cantina channel, like not Cantina channel, our Views Cantina, we start off with the virgin cocktails and then we move on, and I let you guys know when it transfers over to the adult. And once we switch to the adults, I might curse in Spanish here and there, but in English, I'll try not to. But, you know.
You've been pretty good.
Yeah, I think I did okay. You guys seem to have really enjoyed what we did the other day. So did I.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Excuse me, my allergies are so bad.
Tell me about it, Cloud.
I appreciate you switching my name back to what it really is.
Okay, you're welcome. A ver, ayúdame, ándale.
All right, guys. Boy.
Boy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I have my burner currently on high. I want that water that's at the bottom to boil because we want that good steam to come through. And you guys can already see it starting. And good thing because I'm making mine right now. And mine has a lot of stuff in it. Which has queso fresco, tengo el otro queso, my chiles, extra chile because I like it. I get all Texas on it. Okay, press it in. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it to a boil. And once we get that boil and that good steam going, we're gonna lower the temperature because we need the steam, right? So we're gonna steam it for about 30 to 45 minutes. It's gonna depend on your pot. It has a lot of variables with it, but between 30 and 45 minutes, you should be good, okay? So once I place this last one, we're gonna place the lid on it. We're gonna put that good lid on it.
Put a lid on it.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm gonna advise you is stay close to your kitchen. Don't walk away because if the water runs out on the bottom, you're gonna start smelling that corn that we put on the bottom. That's what it's there for. You're gonna smell that it's burning. And if you smell that burning smell, you know that you run out of water. Just make sure to put on the little sides where there's a hole, you can add a little bit of water through there. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be up to you guys whether you guys used to use a steamer or if you guys wanna make it my bootleg style, which is my traditional way of making it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let these cook for a little bit and I'll see you guys when they're ready and show you what consistency you're looking for.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean up now. So if you guys can see here, we end up with about anywhere between 18 to 20 tamales. It's gonna be up to you, and that's just with 1 dozen of tamales. So it just depends on what style you have going on. And
1 dozen corn?
yeah, 1 dozen of fresh corn made about almost 2 dozens. So you guys can gauge that amount.
Time for that corn facial.
Ooh. Girl, I'm due for a facial. After this difficult summer, I don't know what kind of facial I'll be getting, but I'll let you guys know on the other channel. Okay, we're gonna check our tamales. They've been here about 25 minutes, and I want to make sure that when you make them, you know the consistency you need. Okay, so let's go ahead and take one out and see where we're at. Okay, you see how they're still wet? I mean, you can eat it like this, you'll be okay, but if you want the tamal consistency, it's gonna be a little different. So you see how it's a little wet, a little bit runny? It still needs a little bit more time to form.
But it looks like it's cooking from back here. You see that? Up to that point, it's already done.
See, like this part, like this one's still really soft. This one's nice and firm.
And you can see the imprint of the husk on there.
Yeah, this one still looks a little bit like rice pudding or something like that. But ain't no shame in your girl's game. Ooh. Let's keep cooking. You see the firmness on it? That means that we're ready. Probably see it better on this side. It's firm. You see it doesn't look like the rice pudding anymore. So now our tamales are ready to eat. One of the things that I want to share with you is that when you have your pot, you're going to notice that the ones that are out here are going to take a little bit longer than the ones that are over here nestled with each other, getting a good steam and it's all around. So you'll see that the ones up here take a little bit longer. Don't stress it, just keep them there a little bit longer. Let me go ahead and get a tasting. Girl, let me give you some.
Thank you, Mama, for blowing out my food.
You're welcome, sis. These are so good. I'm gonna have like one.
Seguramente.
The thing with these is that one goes by like that. Just like 2 bites, I can probably eat a whole tamal. I'm gonna take it easy though.
Are you now?
No.
I know something you guys don't know. It's not our first tasting.
Don't start. Párale. No me hagas bullying. Imagine they're gonna be like, Cloud.
Hey, someone's called me out for bullying, so I better be nice.
You are nice.
I'm not a bully.
We just have a lot of fun. Yeah. I put hydraulics on this plate. You like that? Oh.
Wow. Are you for real right now? You're sneaking another one? Girl, I need your undivided attention over here.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, déjame.
Are you finally ready?
Yes. ¿Estás lista?
Are you serious right now?
Are you serious right now?
Are you? I
I
told you I was just gonna go for a quick little break and I find you like this. Ya sabía.
I told you, like 2 bites, you get rid of all it. This is, es una delicadeza, okay?
I'm gonna put a like some markers up there that says how many you've had.
No, nobody needs to know. You guys don't need to know. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this wonderful and delicious recipe as much as I did. You don't need to know how many tamales I ate. Te me callas. You don't say one word, Cloud.
Whoever wants
just
to
know.
pay me in the comments, let me know.
No, just know the tamales with this type of corn are just like tacos to me. It's a buffet, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe as much as I do. Please make sure that when you use this recipe and you enjoy it and somebody asks you for it, share it. That's how our recipes stay alive, and that's how you make them comfortable for your home. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and for being part of this channel. And on that one, you guys already know. I'm probably going to eat another tamal, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Adios! Who's ready to take a peek inside? Ooh, ooh, ooh! The present. The present. Hello and welcome to the View's Kitchen. In today's recipe, we're going to be making vegan tamales. Before we get started going over the ingredients, I want to make sure that you guys click that bell for notifications and subscribe for more videos. Also, if you need a more extensive tutorial on how to make tamales, I'm going to be linking that in the description area, and we're also going to be pinning the comment. Now, it's time to go over the ingredients. This is a brand of corn husk that I'm going to be using for our tamales. But before we get started, let me show you what you have to do. You want to soak your corn husk in warm water for 45 minutes to 1 hour. If in 30 minutes you come and your water is cold, just let it run through and add some warm water. We need these to be pliable so that we can fold them. If not, you're gonna have a few problems. To your hibiscus flour, your jamaica, you're gonna add boiling hot water. You're gonna let this soak for 10 to 15 minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, you wanna rinse your hibiscus flour, your jamaica, and when I run it through cold water and I squeeze like this for a good minute. Now you're gonna add some water, and this is regular room temperature water. You can use white vinegar or apple cider vinegar. Today I'm using white vinegar. And we are gonna let this soak for 10 minutes. What this is gonna prevent us to do, it's gonna stop the bleeding of the hibiscus flower, because some of you know that it just runs and runs. You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
That color just drips and drips. That's not what we want. So that vinegar is gonna prevent that from happening. After 10 minutes, we're gonna strain our hibiscus flower. We're gonna run it through water for about a minute, and then we're gonna set it to the side before we add it to our sauce. For the sauce, you're gonna need guajillo chilies, garlic, and onion. We have to boil these until they're nice and soft. Continue to boil on a medium heat for 10 to 15 minutes until you see your chilies are nice and soft. After 15 minutes, I'm gonna take out my chiles and the rest of my ingredients, and we are going to blend. Add your fresh water.
Your chilies are not bitter, but you add the fresh water in case our friends have bitter chilies. And is that the reason for it?
Yes, I'm
okay,
adding.
am I correct?
Yep, you are correct. Sometimes you guys see me add the chili water, but in case you have bitter chilies, I don't want you guys to run through any complications. That's why I'm choosing to go with fresh water. Okay, now we're gonna blend. I'm gonna start at a low speed, and then I'm just gonna blast it to a 9-10. And we're blending till smooth. The total blend time was 1 minute on the Vitamix. If you are not using a Vitamix, you're gonna have to strain your chili. But if you have a Vitamix, then we're just gonna be able to pour this out. And your consistency should be thick but runny. You wanna save half a cup of your chili sauce for our masa. Add some oil to your pan and let that heat up for about 45 seconds on a medium heat. Add your chili sauce that we blended, your veggie bouillon of choice. We're gonna continue to stir and cook for about 2 to 3 minutes, okay? After 3 minutes, place your burner on a low heat, and we're gonna add our hibiscus flower. Once you mix all your ingredients together, you're gonna continue to cook for another 2 minutes. After about 2 to 3 minutes, you're gonna notice that your sauce got a little bit thicker, everything's cooked well together, and now it's time to set this to the side. To your stand mixer, you're gonna add your vegetable shortening, and we are gonna whisk. I'm gonna start at a low speed, and then I'm gonna raise up the speed until we have it nice and smooth. You're gonna see that I'm gonna come in here, scrape the bowl a few times. We wanna mix it well.
Which number are you starting with?
I'm starting at 0 and then slowly all the way up to 8.
Okay, thank you.
You'll have to scrape it from the sides of the bowl a few times until we achieve the consistency that we need. After 3 minutes on speed 8, you'll see that your shortening looks nice and glossy, almost like meringue, and that means that we're ready to add our masa. This is unprepared masa. This is the ground corn that I showed you how to make nixtamal before. I showed you how to make this by hand. This is not the masa from a bag. It's not dried.
It's not seasoned?
No, nothing. It's just
Raw.
fresh, raw. Smells like corn. That's the one that I'm using. You can usually find these at your Mexican markets or at a local Mexican store. You can call and ask them how you can get a hold of authentic masa for tamales. Add your masa, and we are gonna switch to our paddle. And the same thing, I'm gonna blend until smooth. That's gonna take me about 2 to 3 minutes. And we're gonna start slow and go all the way up to an 8. Same thing we did with the shortening. Scrape your bowl, and we're gonna continue to mix the same way. So you have to do this about every minute, okay?
Sounds good to me.
I'm glad you're paying attention, Cloud. After 3 to 4 minutes of whipping this up at a level 8 to 10, you're gonna add your bouillon or your veggie broth mix, whatever option you're using, and your chili sauce. And I'm only adding half at a time right now. I'm gonna check the consistency if it's too wet, because I don't want it to be super runny. So I'm only adding half at a time, okay?
You don't want to miss the step of adding the red chili sauce, because you want to have seasoned masa when you're eating your tamales.
Yeah, you do. There's certain tamales that don't require you to do that, but for this particular recipe, definitely season your masa. I'm not saying all of them, just this one. And I'm gonna start at a low speed just so it doesn't splash everywhere on me, and then we're gonna move it on up to an 8.
Thank you.
And after 3 to 4 minutes, we are done. And I'm gonna show you a tip that my mother passed on to me that came from her great-grandmother and so on. You guys know how our stories are. Those tips are real. You're gonna grab a little bit of your masa. You're gonna get a little bowl of water. And if it floats like that, your dough is ready, friends. You're gonna hear, you don't need to do this. Okay, you don't have to do it, but if you want some bomb tamales, here's my tip for you. Make sure you beat that up until it floats. Another step that everybody forgets to do is taste your masa. I'm gonna show you what you're gonna do after we're done with our masa. We're gonna take a little bit and we're gonna take this over to the pan so that we can taste the saltiness and the flavor you have in there, because that's usually what ends up making or breaking your tamales. So at this step, you can still save your masa and add just a little bit more salt if you need it, and if you don't, then you're set. So let's go and taste our masa. Take your pan and you're gonna add a little bit. I know you're hungry and you want tamales, but this is not the time for that. Right now we are checking for flavor.
I like how you look at me when you said that.
Yeah, you give me those hungry eyes, girl. About to do some dirty dancing, aren't you?
Because I've been meaning to tell you. Let's put this down and do the lift real quick.
Girl, you know we can.
We've done it
Well,
before.
we used to when we were little, okay? I don't know about
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to carry me now, because I used to carry you.
You did carry me. I always got to be baby, and I will always be baby, girl.
We're gonna weigh ourselves and see who's gonna pick who up.
After you've toasted this piece of masa, I want you to taste it, and if you could use a little bit more chili sauce, if you can use a little bit more of your salt or your bouillon blends, then that's when you add it. Other than that, we're ready to go. The salt is on point, the flavor of the corn is on point, it's well balanced. We're ready to go. I'm gonna transfer this masa into a bowl and we're gonna start to spread. See, I'm lost for words because it's serious, but this recipe today is super easy. Some of you are gonna be like, that's an easy recipe for you, but you guys know I do the work so that you can make it comfortable for your home. Cheers.
Cheers.
For our filling, we're gonna be using green olives, raisins, the picadillo we just made, thinly sliced potatoes, and thinly sliced Anaheim pepper. Friends, you can make this comfortable for your home. So whatever excites you inside your tamales, go ahead and add it to this blend.
We're just showing you our favorite filling for the vegan tamales.
Yes, it's a classic. I mean, and it really does represent the way that our mother taught us how to make the traditional tamales.
That's right.
You're gonna take your corn husk, and if you see that you have excess water, just dab it with a kitchen towel or a paper towel. You don't want it to be super wet. We want them damp and pliable. Now with this one, you can just fold it, but if you have little hands, you can probably get away with, you know, tearing off a little bit of the side. Just a little bit, enough to where you can have it on the palm of your hand. With your spreader, take some of your masa. So right where you see that fold goes up, that's where you want to start pressing down at an angle, and it's going to be whatever thickness you want. Okay? Now if you get the good quality corn husk, you're not going to have a problem spreading them. There's nothing that's going to be stiff for you to cover. So if you have a choice between the quality ones, and you kind of can see one of them's more expensive and more organized and the other ones are just scattered together, pick the good quality ones if you want a smoother spread. Add about a tablespoon of your picadillo, potato, Anaheim pepper, green olive, and your raisin is optional. I know how some of you feel about that. Now it's time to fold. Take this side, tuck it nice and tight. Fold it to this side, nice and tight. Flip it over and fold. I'm going to continue with the rest of our tamales. I'll see you on our next step. Add your water to the Instant Pot. Place our little basket. Seal it. And we're gonna pressure cook for 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, you release your steam. You're gonna take your tamales out. Make sure to let your tamales sit here for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It's like baked goods. Just let them cool off just a little bit so that we can get through them. And by through them, meaning eating all of them. Time to open our gift.
I like eating tamales with you because I never feel like I'm left desiring some of that feeling.
Because I feel them well.
Yes.
And make sure you get all your masa. I know some of you don't like the excess masa. Somebody worked hard for that. Eat it. Just because it doesn't have your proteins that you prefer. Get over it, kids.
Eat your masa, children.
Eat your masa. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I know I have my fingers all over it. Don't worry, I'm the one eating this one. But look at that yumminess, friends. Ready to say ah?
Ready.
Say ah. As always, Views Club and Bell Notification Squad. Cloud and I absolutely adore you. We're always wishing you the best. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Adios.
Does it trip you out when you bite into the jamaica?
It really does.
It trips me out every single time.
You're not gonna miss a thing, I'm telling you. The potato. I really like the way the raisin balances the jamaica in here. If you like a little bit of the sweetness, and you get a little bit of the tart from the olive, the flavors are so well balanced. It really is a gift. I believe I'm in the danger zone already.
Uh-oh.
We made a dozen. It seems like a dozen for just me.
We should have doubled it up.
We should have doubled it up today.
The good thing that it's easy enough to double up right now.
Mm-hmm. If you guys are new to being vegan, vegetarian, and you used to eat your tamales and didn't like the raisins, this is a new day for you to change your mind. Because there was years where I didn't want the raisins or the olive. And now I'm having another. But you guys don't need to watch that because I made a fool out of myself yesterday because I was really hungry.
No, you didn't. I ate a full one too.
Bye.
Bye guys, we love you.
Hello and welcome back to Views on the Road. I'm your host Steph, and if you love tamales, you're gonna love this recipe. Not only is it easy to make, it tastes just as good. And make sure not to skip too far ahead because we're gonna be discussing best fats to use based on your preferences. For this delicious recipe, you'll need 3 cups of corn, 4 cups of maseca, half a cup of butter, half a cup of butter shortening, 10 roasted Anaheim peppers, 3 cups of cheddar, half an onion, 8 ounces of queso fresco, 1.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 cup of milk, and 1 1/4 of a cup of water. To your blender, you want to add your milk, your corn, your onion, sugar. And now we're gonna blend until smooth. And boom, done. And as promised, we're gonna be discussing the fats that you can use for this recipe. You can use lard, you can use butter shortening, you can use regular shortening, you can use palm oil, or you can use plain butter, and even better for a lot of you, you can use margarine for this recipe. Don't forget to make it comfortable for your home. Add your butter shortening and your butter. I like the combination of both of these because it gives it the best buttery flavor that you've ever had. And all of these ingredients are room temperature. We're gonna attach our whisk and we're gonna continue to mix until it's nice and whipped. And remember, if your ingredients get stuck, push them out and continue to whip. And after 3 minutes, we have some really delicious whipped fat. Nice and whipped. Next, you're gonna add your maseca. And for those of you that don't know what maseca is, it's instant corn masa. A lot of you said that it's difficult for you to get a hold of fresh masa, so that's why I chose to go with maseca today. Just for you, because I love you. Add your chicken bouillon or salt if you chose to go with that. Add your paddle attachment and continue to mix on a medium speed for another minute. At this point, you're gonna notice that your mixture looks like a crumble, and that's when you're gonna add your corn mixture. I'm gonna add the water to our blender, and I'm just gonna shake it up to make sure that we get all our delicious corn out of this blender and into our mixture. Add your baking powder. And now we're gonna continue to mix on a medium speed for another 2 minutes. Once you combined all your ingredients, you're gonna add your sliced roasted Anaheim chiles. And if you don't want to use cheddar, you can use Mexican cheese blend or any kind of melty cheese that you like. I personally love medium cheddar. And now you're gonna mix on a low speed until everything's well combined. That should be about 45 seconds. And boom, done. While our oven preheats at 350 degrees, I'm gonna coat the bottom of our baking dish with melted butter. And with the same butter, I'm gonna coat the sides of our baking dish. Now you're gonna slowly start adding your masa to your baking dish.
You know what? I'd like to tell our friends in England, Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, you're so sweet. Happy Christmas to our friends in England.
We've been getting a lot of lovely messages from our friends.
We have a lot of friends in England.
We do.
Specifically in London. If you're watching this, we love you guys. And we're just gonna spread until everything is nice and smooth.
In no way, shape, or form is this traditional tamales.
This is not traditional, but it's gonna get those cravings out of the way with less work. And if you want super easy tamales, the whole more traditional, you should try our breakfast tamales. I even show you there how to bake them. And now this part, you can use queso fresco to sprinkle over the top, or you can use more cheddar, whatever cheese makes you the happiest. And me, I just get so happy with cheese. So the queso fresco is gonna add that nice golden crisp on the top, and when you bite into your piece, you're gonna say, oh, Steph, you were right. And I'm gonna say, I told you, friend. It's the good stuff. I should have really bought more Anaheim chilies to roast, but they go by real quick. So luckily I have a little can of Hatch chili handy that's gonna enhance this flavor even more, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it over the top. But if you guys just want to keep it with the roast Anaheim, I would say go with about 15 possibly if you're gonna decorate the top of your casserole.
I'm gonna interject. Go with Pueblo chilies if you can.
Pueblo chilies. I don't know, you guys gotta represent for your green chili. Which one is your favorite? And I'm talking to you, New Mexico. You gonna let Cloud say that?
Yeah, I love Pueblo chilies. I love New Mexico too.
I know, I can't pick. That's why I'm staying out of this. Make it comfortable for your home. Whatever you have access to at the moment. I still have a lot of my foil that tends to stick to my casserole, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a parchment paper over the top. I'm going to place a piece of foil and bake at 380 degrees for 50 minutes. If you're in high altitude, you want to add 8 minutes to your bake time. And for the last 10 minutes of your baking time, you want to remove the foil to allow all that cheese on the top to crisp up and finalize the cooking process. And boom, done. A beautiful tamal tasting casserole. I suggest you guys wait a good 15 minutes before serving, but since it's you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and serve a nice, delicious slice. I like this recipe because it's like the fresh corn tamales. Your corn stays nice and tender. And I like to add some sour cream and a spicy green salsa. I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And I hope you love this casserole as much as my family and I do. Please let us know in the comments what you think. And now it's time for you to look away because it can get really dangerous. Absolutely delicious. I really love how deconstructed this tamal recipe is because when you add that butter at the bottom, it crisps up the sides of your casserole to taste just like a fried tamal. So you guys are gonna be in for it. It's gonna be dangerous for you. So make sure you allow this to rest at least 15 to 20 minutes before you serve it. As always, Cloud and I are wishing you the best. We absolutely adore you. We hope that you enjoyed this recipe and that you're having a lovely holiday season. If you like this recipe, make sure to give us a thumbs up, comment, and tag us on your social media. And on that one, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye! Adios! Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be making plant-based tamales. We're going to be using maseca. You have been asking me a lot to use maseca for one of our tamal recipes, and today is the day. And friends, for those of you that didn't practice your tamales and you need some super easy, quick tamales, this is a recipe for you. 4 cups of your tamal maseca, veggie bouillon, or you can use salt, 3 cups of warm water. To your warm water, you want to add your veggie bouillon. You'll need to roast 4 Anaheim peppers, 4 tomatillos, half a white onion, 3 garlic cloves, and 1 serrano for the spice. Make sure you remove the skin, stem, and the seeds. Half a bunch of fresh cilantro, half a cup of melted butter, and half a cup of vegetable shortening. And for our filling, we're going to be using 2 of the roasted Anaheim peppers, cheddar cheese, and potato. But if you want to combine your filling with something slightly different like queso fresco or just potatoes, you're more than welcome to adjust and make it comfortable for your home. In your blender, you want to place 2 of your Anaheim peppers, your tomatillo, garlic serrano, and your bunch of cilantro. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of your veggie bouillon. Add about 4 tablespoons of water to allow your ingredients to combine well. And that was about 10 pulses with this type of blender. What we want to look for is a salsa consistency. We don't want it super smooth because last time I gave you guys the chicken tamales and they were super smooth with the sauce. You guys were having a fit about it. So in order to keep you happy, just pulse it about 10 times. See, just a little bit chunkier, just like that.
Honey, is there a difference between the maseca I have at home to this maseca tamal?
Yes, there is a huge difference. This one is for tamales. It's going to give you smooth tamales, better flavor than if you're going to be using the one that you make tortillas with.
Ah, okay.
Of course, if you don't have enough, you can combine half and half of each, but these will give you a more perfect, we've been talking about perfection, but these will give you more of a perfect look to your tamales.
I can see the grain looks a little different, like the graininess of this maseca.
It's very, very soft and light. And we're going to make it even lighter. And we're going to make it even lighter by adding some baking powder. I repeat, baking powder. Give that a quick mix. And next, we're going to add our shortening and butter blend.
I mean, you can use a spoon, but traditionally you want to use your hands. You want to get in there and start feeling.
Yes,
right.
Yes, of course. You are so right, Cloud. And just combine your oils until you get somewhat of the look of some butter cookies, some shortbreads, something like that.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
It's not going to be the exact same feel. You're going to feel a graininess from the corn, but similar, very similar. I'm going to make a well in the center, and I'm going to add half of our veggie broth at a time. And for those of you that are working with tamales in different climates, that's the best way to do it, because if you add it all based on what my ingredients are and you're in an arid area or a super humid area, there's gonna be a huge division from your tamales to the recipe. So just adjust slowly and you'll be able to get through these tamales like nobody's business, like a super pro.
You'll be ready to take them to your suegra.
Yes. And if you notice with this one, I'm not being so aggressive. I'm just slightly going over and giving it a squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed that my masa is a little bit drier than I would like, so I adjusted by adding 1 more cup of warm water to our masa. This part shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to do, and once your masa is ready, you can tap it. You see how smooth it looks?
Yes.
Everything's wet and hydrated. That's exactly the consistency that you're looking for. Smooth, hydrated, and ready for our tamales to be filled. Soak your corn husk in boiling hot water a minimum of 45 minutes before you start making your tamales. Take about 3 to 4 tablespoons of your masa and spread it against your corn husk. It doesn't have to be perfect. This masa is very forgiving. Take a little bit of your salsa verde and place it right in the center. Add a little wedge of cheese, potato, and 1 to 2 strips of your Anaheim roasted pepper. And now it's time to give it a nice fold, just like that. If you have any extra right here, you can just remove it and set it to the side. These tamales are super easy to make. Give that a fold. And I'm gonna set this to the side and continue with the remaining tamales. Add your water to your tamalera. As far as water, just don't go above this little part right here. I'm gonna place a bowl in the center of my tamalera and we're just gonna start adding our tamales. Bring your tamalera to a boil. Once you hear that boil, you're gonna lower your temperature. You're gonna place the lid over your tamales and you're gonna continue to steam for 30 minutes. After those 30 minutes, you're gonna turn everything off and you're gonna allow them to set for about 15 to 20 minutes so that they can continue to form and they're easy to unwrap. And boom, done. Our tamales are perfectly steamed and ready to eat. Oh, I love how that chile verde and cheese just oozed out. Ah, that one's for me.
That one's for the sushi.
I don't mean to brag, but Cloud really made a perfect tamal today. I am so excited to taste this tamal, and I hope you guys are too. You're officially our new tamal maker in this home, Cloud. I have never seen more perfect tamales. I'm gonna just crack it here so you guys can see the inside.
They'll never eat if I'm in charge of the tamales. I take forever.
That's okay. It's worth the wait. It smells so good. I can smell the salsa verde, the Anaheim, and ooh, with the cheese combination, you know we love this, amigos. I'm going to need somebody very special to say
Provecho.
Yummy. And for those of you that like salsa on your tamales, you can use your remaining salsa verde to enjoy it with your tamales.
You can add crema, you can add ketchup, whatever your heart desires.
You sure can.
You don't need permission.
Well, Cloud, I'm impressed with your little hands.
Thank you. We did it together.
My other tip to you is start off with the 2 cups of liquid for your masa. Add gradually. You can add about half a cup to a cup at a time. Some of you might need 3 cups and some of you might need 4 cups of your liquid. Either way, you're gonna make perfect tamales for your family this holiday season, birthday, or celebrations.
And you don't need to practice with this recipe. This one's easy. You got it, trust me.
I missed putting the work into the tamales. This was way too easy, you guys. And then it's a lot easier to eat. And you'll be able to tell the difference with the tamales. These are just perfect. They're from a showroom. So when you want to impress and you want to make perfect tamales, you're going to have to use maseca until you have developed the hand for making your fresh masa look just like that. And if you guys haven't seen that, you guys can go to our al pastor tamales video where I showed you how fresh masa, we can make it look like that. And for those wanting to keep this recipe completely vegan, just skip on the cheese and use everything else as suggested. And that chile verde right here.
Ooh. You can use some vegan melty cheese.
You can use the vegan melty cheese, but you don't have to have it.
Nope.
You can skip it. So good. I feel like True Beverly Hills. How many are you having? Every time I eat tamales, I'm so naughty with them. Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to make al pastor seasoned tamales. And friends, let me tell you, this is not something that you want to miss. For the al pastor marinade, you're going to need chile guajillo, chile mulato, or you can use pasilla, 1 little block of achiote paste, Mexican oregano, ground cumin, sea salt, ground ginger, cinnamon, ground clove, black pepper, a chipotle pod, a bay leaf, and garlic. Pork butt, orange and pineapple juice, apple cider vinegar, oil, corn husk, fresh corn masa, canned and fresh pineapple. You'll also need some lard, and if you don't like to use lard, you can use vegetable shortening. And now we're just going to take all our ingredients and blend them until smooth. And boom, done. Friends, you have to get smart with it. I'm going to line my oven-safe dish with some parchment paper for easy cleanup. Take your pieces of pork and place them into your baking dish. Pour your al pastor marinade all over your pieces of pork. And for those of you that don't like to get your hands dirty, you don't have to. You can just use your tongs and move it around. And if you don't mind, go ahead and give this a little massage.
What are you doing, girl?
I'm gonna add a little bit of orange juice just to shake up the remaining marinade. We don't want to miss any of this flavor. Give it a little shake, shake.
You're not gonna use your hands because it's gonna dye them red.
Well, I have.
Achiote?
Yeah, I have some. I have a friend to meet up later, so I don't want to get my hands stained for the evening.
You're meeting someone later today?
Yeah.
Cool. I know who it is.
Cloud knows who it is.
And it's not me.
It's not Cloud. It's okay. Just a friend. Okay.
Oh, baby, you.
Oh, stop. Oh, stop. Okay, friends, we have a few choices for this particular marinade. If you place it in your refrigerator, minimum of 24 hours, it's gonna be the best flavor. Even 48 hours, it just gets better. But for us today, I'm gonna place this right into the oven at 300 degrees for 2 hours. After 2 hours, we're gonna raise the heat to 350 and we're gonna keep it in there another hour.
You think you're all that just because you have an air fryer in your oven?
No joke, yes. Friends, you guys have been asking me a lot for this particular stove, and we are going to be discussing that on this next season of Views on the Road.
Wow.
Wow. You guys are important.
You did think you're all that.
And after 3 hours, our al pastor is ready to be used to fill our tamales. Friends, if you're going to be using this for your taquitos, you will not regret it. And I'm just going to mash it just like this, and then I'll add a little bit of the sauce that remained at the bottom of our baking dish, and I'll just keep on doing this. And that's what we're going to use. Not completely shredded unless you like it, but to have a little bit of a chunk. And add that sauce. We need some of that delicious sauce from the bottom. Okay? Scoop it up and just pour it over the meat. I have my pineapple slices and my pineapple juice from the can in here, okay? So if you guys want to use this juice, you can, or if you want to use regular pineapple juice, that'll work as well. We're going to add our salt, sugar, And you just want to pulse the ingredients. You don't want to blend them too much because we want a few of these little pineapple chunks in our masa.
Ooh, you just gave me goosebumps.
You got the goosies?
I did, thank you.
I'll do one more. We just did 2 pulses so that we can get some of that good pineapple, and I'm super excited to add it to this.
And I see over here you're already soaking your husks.
Yes,
right?
you do have to soak your husk, and it has to be super, super hot water.
Got it.
For those of you that joined us on our live, you went into the market where I purchased this perfectly made lard.
It was rendered on site.
They even had a big tub of lard, of rendered lard. I was like, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup, and we're gonna make sure to dissolve that well into our masa.
And that's unprepared masa, is that correct?
Yes, this is unprepared masa. If you're gonna add lard to your prepared masa, it's gonna be quite a mess.
Okay, got it. And for those of you that have been with us for a while, this is not our first session in making tamales. You want to squeeze the masa in between your fingers.
You sure do. You guys are used to me warming up the lard when I use the other style, but this one you can just add and combine together. And you're gonna be mixing your masa for a good 5-6 minutes here. That should do the work. If you're wondering where you can get this style of bowl, I usually find these great bowls at an international Asian market or at your local Korean market.
H-Mart.
H-Mart. It's going down.
It always goes down at H-Mart.
I need to put a trapito here for you guys. Then you guys come for me, and I love it.
You do have the strongest hands in our family. I love that.
You're making me blush.
I'll help spread the tamales. That's my thing. And then keep an eye on them for the cook time. But as far as amasando, you are the master.
Thank you, thank you. I think that's why my baked dishes that require my hands, like doughs and things like that, that's why they taste so good. Because I can really get into it, and I'm not scared. I'm not flimsy with these kind of things. Now, in my personal and regular life, I am like un pan dulce, pero, you know, just a little sweetheart with a kick. A little Sour Patch Kid.
In your pocket.
In
the
my
masa
pocket?
got in your pocket.
Score.
You get a point.
Okay, I combined our ingredients well. It's nice and soft, really good consistency. And the more you make the tamales, the more confident you're gonna be in your masa and that everything's gonna be perfect. Okay.
What consistency should it be?
Smooth.
Like
light.
like that sand that the kids play with?
No, you don't have that texture, but yeah, I would say they're kind of cloudy like you.
Oh wow.
Very nice and soft. A little mush. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I mean, I know, but I'm just trying to...
Look, if you pat it down, you can see there's no grooves and it's smooth.
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm just gonna add some of our ingredients, and apparently my blender wanted to keep some of our al pastor seasoning in it.
You're just adding the piña mixture a little bit at a time?
Yeah, a little bit at a time, and I did 2 little handfuls and start off that way. Okay.
Amigos, I'm asking a lot of questions because I'm learning with you right now.
Cloud likes it when I make the tamales.
I'm learning this delicious version here with you.
Yep. Oh, I love being able to see the chunks of pineapple in here. It's gonna be glorious. I'm gonna continue to mix our dough for a good 10 to 15 minutes. It's just habit, but if you have a stand mixer, go ahead and use that. Save yourself some time. And for those of you that need it, go ahead. There is no shame in that. Okay, there's still a lot of love going into these tamales. And after 10 to 15 minutes of mixing your masa, you're gonna notice that everything is smooth. I highly recommend you taking a little piece of your masa, tasting it, and if you can taste the salt content and the sweetness balanced, then you're set to go. The measurements I gave you are pretty exact to achieve that, but then again, it's gonna depend on your hands and on your product.
And you're going to teach us a little trick on how to taste your masa without eating it raw.
That
right?
is correct. That's just the initial taste to see if you can taste the salt. You don't want it to be too salty, because if it's too salty when you're tasting it raw, that means that you went too far, okay?
Got it.
Place your pan on a medium heat and place a little bit of your masa on the pan, okay? We're gonna cook this about 2-3 minutes. And when you see that the colors have changed, that means that it's cooked through. And that's when you're gonna be able to taste the consistency. If you need to add a little bit more salt, a little bit more sugar, you can. And then also you can see if it's too dry for you, then you can add a little bit more of your lard or your shortening, whatever you're using.
Ooh, it smells delicious in here.
You like?
Yeah, I get a good sweetness in the air.
See, I can already see from this.
Ooh, ooh,
Ooh, hey.
ooh, that was you. We looked at each other. No, that's you.
That was me. I'm sorry, guys. I can already see from here that I'm going to add a little bit more lard.
Well, we got here on time, guys. We almost didn't make it because I was goofing around, but here we are. Show us what you got.
I'm going to add our masa to our corn husk that I have soaked. They're nice and soft. And I'm just going to start smearing to the side the way that I was raised to do. Just grab it and go. I know I've taught you several techniques on how to do it perfect, but friends, lo perfecto sin humano, which means pretty much perfection doesn't exist. It's ridiculous. Although it can be perfect. Don't play.
Just aim for excellence.
Yes.
Be exceptional.
Be exceptional. You got it, Cloud. So go ahead and smear your masa throughout your corn husk just like this.
Wait a minute. Are you using a rice paddle?
Girl, my babies are Corey Mex. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay.
I'm not shaming it. I like the idea.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. It works for me. All right, I'm going to continue to spread all of them just so that it's easier to just fill and boom, done, okay? Take your tamal and place your desired amount of meat. Make sure that if you didn't add juice, that you add a little bit of juice from your al pastor to the tamal. You want to use freshly cut pineapple. You can put 1 or 2 pieces. Give that a quick fold. I'm going to continue with the remaining tamales, and then we're going to start setting up our pot so we can steam our tamales to perfection.
And if you're looking for a pot for your tamales and you're in the Mexican market, ask for a tamalera.
Can you repeat that?
Ask for a tamalera.
Thank you, Cloud. We love you.
You're welcome.
In your steep pot, also known as your tamalera, you're going to place the bowl right in the center. And you're going to start aligning your tamales in a counterclockwise. Just kidding.
And for those of you that don't know how to prepare this pot, all you have to do is add water right at the bottom.
All you want to do as far as the water, there's a line right underneath. Don't go over that water line. And that's going to give us enough steam to continue to cook this for 35 to 40 minutes. And we're just going to keep lining up our tamales around the bowl. Bring your pot of tamales to a boil. Once you hear the boil, you're going to lower your temperature to low. Okay, we're going to continue to cook for about 35 to 40 minutes, and then you're going to allow your tamales to rest for 15 to 20 minutes so that they can finish forming. I let our tamales rest for 20 minutes, and amigos, they are fully formed and ready to eat. Who's ready for a bite?
I am so ready. I'm so excited. I know you're tired of hearing me all day. Let's do this.
And now it's time to open our gift. Yummy, yummy. Ooh! Friends, I'm going to open this up just so that you can see what a treat this is. Nice, moist, just delightful. And that soft pineapple in there is quite a dream. Look at that. Nothing better than biting into that big old chunk of protein. Ooh, all right. And now to make this even better, I'm gonna show you how to top your al pastor tamal. We are, of course, gonna sprinkle.
Before anyone makes fun of me, I'm going to make fun of myself. I am super zoomed in.
Cloud's really into these tamales. She's had them before, friends, and this is a treat that I've been wanting to make for you guys for a while, but I had to make it happen today because of the craving. So to keep with our al pastor theme this year, we're gonna go ahead and top our al pastor tamal with una salsita verde, a little bit of salsa verde.
Is that a roasted salsa?
This is a roasted salsa verde.
Ooh.
So some freshly chopped onions. Sprinkle your cilantro. And, you know, because it's me, I'm gonna add an extra piece of pineapple.
Wow.
Now who's ready for a bite?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna need somebody very special to say
Buen provecho. Now this recipe you want to make for your favorite uncle and your favorite auntie. This is like just pulling out the red carpet for someone that you love. So delightful.
Friends, I do want to say that this is one of my best creations. Yes, please make the salsa. Please add the sugar to your masa. I know what I'm talking about. It balances out your pork. It balances out all the flavors so beautifully. And the masa is so soft and fluffy. I'm in heaven.
Delicious. Speaking of tips, well, we weren't speaking of it, but we're going to.
Yes, we do give tips towards the end.
What is a tip that you have for us?
How about you tell them? You've been watching.
I would say the tip is when you put your al pastor in the oven, you can add your pineapple in there if you're going to use it for tacos. Is that right?
That is correct.
Or even if you want to use the pineapple and the meat mix for your filling, like boom, done. ¿Verdad?
Yes.
Okay. Guys, I passed the test.
You did.
And make extra, right? Because you can use your filling for the tamales and then for your taquitos.
Anything that you have remaining from the measurements that I gave you is so that you can enjoy some tacos while you're making your tamales. And you can share some with your neighbor or your family. And as always, you do need a meal prep. So that helps you for super easy al pastor tacos. Friends, I don't know what to tell you. You guys have to make this.
I know we don't get bossy around here, but we are going to say that you do have to make these.
I made myself almost speechless here. That's how good these are.
I mean, it helps if you serenade your masa. That's what we were doing. And serenade the cooking process and dance with each other, you know?
Friends, I hear you. Some of you don't like pork, and that's okay. You can make this with beef, chicken, seafood, tofu, potato, you name it. You can get this recipe done. Please make the salsa. Don't be stingy with your pineapple. And best of all, don't fight with anybody while you're making your tamales. We want some delicious, family-loving tamales.
If you know you're going to fight with someone, then just wait for them to come over to eat.
Make camarones a la diabla instead if you're fighting with someone.
Don't fight, you guys. It's the holiday. It's time to be merry and loving. No fighting.
These are going to be the best tamales of 2021 and probably that you're going to have. I'm going to fix myself another one.
And we love every single one of you. Be safe.
We do. Try to make 2 dozens if it's your first time making these. You're going to want to. You can freeze them and you can enjoy them at any moment of the day or night, midnight snack. Ooh, I'm in love with these.
And rest your tamales.
Rest your tamales. I'm so sure. I'm like on a tamal kick right now. Hello and welcome. In today's recipe, I'll be showing you how to make green chili chicken tamales. For the salsa verde, you'll need tomatillos, garlic, Anaheim peppers, serrano, jalapeno, and a bunch of cilantro. Fresh corn masa, corn husk, salt. And for this recipe, you can use vegetable shortening, pork lard that looks like this, or pork lard that looks like this. And you usually find these containers towards the butcher area of your Mexican grocery stores. Today, I'm gonna be using this one. And you're also gonna need some chicken broth. I'm just waiting for our chicken to finish cooking. And while it's cooking, we're gonna get started by roasting our peppers. On this side, we're gonna start charring our Anaheim peppers. And over here, we are gonna start placing our jalapeno, our serrano, our tomatillos, and our garlic. Your garlic will be the first ones to char. Those are the first ones we're gonna be taking off the pan. So we're gonna continue to roast the rest of our peppers and our ingredients until they're nice and charred, and that should be anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. Our peppers are nice and roasted, and I'm just gonna set them here to the side. And I'm gonna allow them to sweat in this pie dish because it's super easy for me to do. Just like this. And I'm gonna allow them to sweat for just a few minutes, and I'm gonna place our tomatillos into our blender because that's what we're gonna be doing next, blending our chiles and making our salsa. In a pot or a big bowl, you wanna add your corn husk with a lot of hot water. You want the water to cover your corn husk, and you wanna soak these for 30 to 45 minutes before you start preparing your tamales. Our chicken is fully cooked, so what I'm doing now is I'm separating some chicken broth, and then we're gonna start shredding our chicken. In our blender, we have cilantro, tomatillos, the roasted peppers, garlic. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of our freshly made chicken broth. And next, we're gonna blend until smooth. And friends, it doesn't matter if you have a high-powered blender or an oyster blender. It does not matter because we're not gonna have to strain our salsa. And boom, done. Once you blend your salsa and you shred your chicken, you're gonna add it into a bowl and you're gonna combine your ingredients, and then we're just gonna set this to the side. For those of you that are gonna be using your lard, your vegetable shortening for this recipe, you're gonna need to mix it in your stand mixer, hand mixer, or by hand for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And you're gonna mix this particular one until you get it to float just like this. Show you a little piece. Once you get your lard, your pork fat, or your vegetable shortening to float over your water like this, then you're ready to combine it to your masa. That's why I've really been enjoying using this pork lard, because it just saves us an extra step. To your bowl, you want to add your pork lard and start adding your masa in little crumbled pieces. Add your salt. And now start kneading all your ingredients until they are well combined. Once you've combined your pork fat and your masa well to a soft consistency, that should take you about 3 to 4 minutes. You want to add about 1/4 of a cup of your chicken broth at a time. We want to see how our masa absorbs our broth, and then you can start adding from there. I'm going to show you the consistency that we're looking for so that we can get nice, fluffy, soft, tender, just magical tamales. I've been here about 15 minutes mixing my masa, combining everything well, and once you get a nice soft combination and, you know, just smoothly comes out of your hands just like that, it's time to start assembling our tamales. You're gonna take a scoop of your masa and you're gonna start spreading it outwards. And when I placed it down, I just placed it right in the center, and then I help myself with the fingers when I have to scoop it out of the spoon. Just like that. And you come by for your next layer. If you need a little bit more masa, go ahead. It really just depends on how thick you want to make your tamales.
Do you prefer yours thick or thin?
It just depends. This particular one I like thick because there's no other filling going in, just the chicken and salsa verde, and I like it thick. And it also depends on who I'm trying to impress. You know, you got those family members that come and they're gonna critique like even your curtains to your towels in the kitchen, and you know, you gotta do your thing. So whatever it takes for you to impress your family for the holiday season, do it. It's okay to impress your family, right? Who else are we supposed to impress? Our loved ones. Go ahead and fill it up. And I added a good amount, I would say about 3 tablespoons. So you're gonna go ahead and flip it nice and tight right here. A good little fold. Bring it over. Fold that tip just like this. And I'm gonna continue making the remaining tamales. Friends, if you need more assistance in making your tamales, how to perfect them if you don't wanna use the spoon method, we will link all of those down below. I think a lot of you know that family is really good at making tamales, and we're here to help you make your holiday time easier, or that time to impress a lot easier, or the time to sell.
And I think if you're not so good at it, now is the time to make a small batch and practice.
Yeah, just make a small batch and get yourself through it. And we'll link that below. I have recipes for 1 dozen on a stand mixer by hand, and I prefer to do all this by hand. It just connects me to my food a lot better, and it's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy cooking. But if you don't, it's okay. You guys can use your stand mixer. And you see how smooth that masa glides straight through?
It's beautiful.
Ooh, so yummy. And once your tamales are done, you want to use your vaporera, you want to use your pot. It's going to be up to you on how you want to get your tamales steam. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to place parchment paper right here over the top. Place your lid over the top. Set your burner on a low heat and continue to steam your tamales for about 35 to 40 minutes. After your 40 minutes are up, go ahead and turn your burner off, and then you're gonna allow your tamales to set for about 15 to 20 minutes before you start eating them. And boom, done. Our tamales are perfectly made, done and ready. Let me get that outer part.
The best part. Okay, one of the best parts.
And boom, done. Who's ready for a taste? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say ah. So delicious. Today we have a very special treat for you. We're going to be making sweet churro tamales. And the best part is that we're going to fill these tamales with chocolate, cajeta, and a strawberry jam. And let me tell you friends, they're super easy to make, and even better, they're so easy to eat. For this recipe, you'll need 2.5 pounds of fresh masa, 2 tablespoons of vanilla, 4 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of lard, 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream, 1/4 of a cup of lechera condensed milk, 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of sugar, and make sure to set aside a little bit of extra cinnamon and sugar so we can coat our tamales to perfection. Make sure that you soak your corn husk in hot water 45 minutes prior to using them. For some reason, this season I've had nothing but super dry and rippled corn husk. They've been difficult to work with, but hey, we're making it comfortable for our home. See, they get so tough even when you soak them, and they just break everywhere. To your bowl, you want to add your butter, your lard, and if you don't have access to lard, you can use shortening. That works well. And now I'm going to squeeze and combine our ingredients, and I'm going to continue to beat them up with my hands. Yes, I'm going to get in here, guys, until it's nice, soft, and smooth. And it's the same thing that we do with our other tamales. Just break it down. And I'm going to be here a good, I want to say, a good 5 minutes. For those of you that have a stand mixer, I'll put a recipe in the description where I show you how to make tamales on your stand mixer, and you can use the same steps, just use different ingredients. Make sure that the butter you're using is room temperature. Once you have the consistency nice, smooth, and soft, we're going to begin adding our masa. And once we do that, it's time to start combining our butter lard mixture with our fresh masa. I'm going to be blending the remaining ingredients. That includes our heavy whipping cream. If you don't have heavy whipping cream, go ahead and use some half and half. We're going to add our lechera. And since I have a dirty hand, Cloud's going to help me with the spatula to get all of this out.
With which, this spatula?
Let's see. Vanilla and our sugar. Give that a good mix, and what that's going to do is it's going to help soften our sugar so we don't get those sugar crystals in our tamales. That's exactly what this is going to do.
It smells like churros right now.
It does, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to mix our masa until it's well incorporated. That's going to take me a good 10 to 12 minutes. Every time I make the tamales, it gets faster for me every time. If you need a little bit more assistance, on this particular step. We have plenty of recipes that you guys can watch, and it's going to help you through this process.
What do you do when you say you're blending the masa? Can you show us your technique?
I give it a mix like this, and I combine by squeezing. That's why it's important to keep your masa out at room temperature and the other ingredients as well. Makes this process a lot easier. Once you combine your masa and mix it well, you want to add your cinnamon. And you do need a lot of cinnamon for this recipe. And our liquid sugary mixture. And next, we're just going to continue to combine all our ingredients.
Are you having fun?
Yes, I'm having a lot of fun. And once you combine your masa and your lovely sweet ingredients, it's time to assemble our tamales. For our filling, we're going to be using cajeta, strawberry topping, and a fudge topping. You want to take some of your masa and you want to spread your masa evenly along your corn husk. And once you've spread your masa along your corn husk, you're going to add a spoonful of your filling. I'm going to start off with cajeta, and I'm going to make a variety to show you guys what that looks like. Nice tight fold. Bring it over. And now I'm going to set this to the side while I continue to assemble the remaining tamales. And I know you're going to want to take it heavy on the fudge. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, that's just me licking my fingers.
Claude really likes that chocolate.
So good.
And next we're going to do our strawberry jam. I know how to make a little jam, a little topping, but I wanted it to be super easy for you guys during the holidays because I'm still on that make it super easy and comfortable for your home kick. And now I'm just going to place a plate in the center of our steamer, our vaporera, and I'm going to start placing our tamales right in the center, just like this. And now you want to bring your pot to a boil. Once you get it to a boil, you want to place your burner on a low to simmer, okay? It's going to really depend if you're using a gas or electric. For me, I'm going to keep it on a simmer. And I'm going to continue to steam our tamales for about 35 minutes. And then I'm going to allow them to rest for 15 to 20 minutes before we open our presents. And boom, done. I've let our tamales set for 20 minutes and now it's time to open our little gifts. Oh my goodness. Let me give this a turn so you guys can see the filling. Ooh, I'm so excited.
It smells amazing in here.
Yeah, this one didn't fully, it closed, but it still oozed out a little bit. The rest are fully closed. And now we're just gonna open up our gift. I let them set for 20 minutes. And when you let them set, it allows them not to stick to the corn husk. Oh, and this is the one that Cloud filled really well with chocolate. Look at that. Qué rico.
It's a molten chocolate tamal.
Oh, yummy, yummy. In this bowl, I have half a cup of sugar and I have about 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. And now we're just gonna mix it well. And this is what we're gonna coat our tamales with. Nice churro style. Place your burner on a medium heat and drizzle a little bit of oil. And to that oil, you're gonna add a little bit of butter. Combine your ingredients and we're gonna start placing our tamales right into that delicious blend. And now I'm just going to cook them about a minute on each side before we place them into our cinnamon and sugar blend. And boom, done. Go ahead and coat Your tamal de churro. Dust it off.
Oh, that chocolate.
Oh, this one's cajeta.
Oh, okay, it looked like chocolate from here.
Okay, I'm gonna place them both over here. Ooh, yummy. And that buttery oil blend will allow to give it a good, fry like our churros and allow you to coat with a good amount of cinnamon and sugar.
Hey, we didn't say to eat this every day, but it's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
Run an extra mile if you need to.
You know what? Embrace it with love. It's that easy. Okay, who's ready for a delicious taste? I'm gonna need somebody very special to say And while I take this bite, Cloud is already eating hers and she's gonna let you know what she thinks about these churro tamales.
I love how the masa pulls through with its authentic true masa flavor without being too sweet. It doesn't get sweet until you get to the cajeta and that crispy, sugary crust on the outside. And the butter completes it. I told you, I felt like I was at Disneyland eating naughty food, like having churros.
Like holiday food?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cozy sweater and eating these tamales.
This goes great with some champurrado, some presidente, and cinnamon tea.
Some holiday punch, some ponche. We'll link the recipe. So delicious.
I'm super excited for you guys to try this.
And it does taste like churro. Like a churro filled with caramel or chocolate.
And you can even make these without filling them. And just make sure to coat them with the cinnamon sugar. And friends, this is definitely one of those tamales that you want to make when you have family over because your house smells absolutely divine.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just moving over here.
Indulgent, yummy.
The chocolate one with coffee in the morning is gonna go great. With the café de olla.